Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. At a new time, because I had to get my studio timing in line, I have Professor R. Vaidyanathan. And viewers, I hope you welcome him with open arms and like this video because we are going to have some pearls of wisdom shared by the one and only Professor R. Vaidyanathan. Professor RV, namaskaram and welcome to 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 channel.
Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namaste. Thank you for that.
Sir. ನಿಮ್ಮೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
Namaskaram, Namaste, Vanakkam, all things. So, thank you for that kind introduction. And I always mention addressing 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪's audience is a very interesting thing because they are very perceptive and give some very good comments and other. And Sachin also to be thanked for the background work, programming, and he has got lots of what one can call activities and tirelessly is working on all these things. Iyer, of course, as usual, is smiling, but so much amount of what one can call effort he is undertaking. He is trying to meet. I'm sure he will succeed in meeting Vivek Ramaswamy and recording his interview before the poll. Anyhow, today we will, there is a topic which has come about because often PM mentions about two things, corruption and dynasty. Other than is, other thing like demography, diversity, and the issues of, growth and other thing. These are the two things he talks about when he talks about opposition. First and foremost is, I think it's important for us as a professor, I would say, to rigorously define what is a dynasty and what is corruption. First, we will take dynasty. See, dynasty means it is not that your son is in some position or your brother is in some position. That's if you can call it nepotism. It is. Some people say, for instance, Amit Shah's son is in BCCI secretary, and that they say particularly this Tamil Oodagangal, it is called. I call it Moodagangal actually. Moodagangal mean Mudams, who doesn't know anything. And many people are arguing that Amit Shah's son is in the BCCI, so it is dynasty. It's not like that. Even a person's son can be a state level minister or a MP or something. That doesn't constitute. What constitutes dynasty is essentially the capturing of the political party and pass it on to the next generation. In some cases, it is founded and the founder pass it on to his children. In some cases, like particularly the DMK is a classic example, where Karunanidhi is not one of the 7 founders of DMK at all. He later got into DMK, he hijacked the party, and then he has passed it on to his son, who in turn want to pass it on to his son, like that. That is called dynasty. Your ability to pass on the entire political party to your children. Like Devagowda passed it on to his son, Kumaraswamy, second son, and Lalu Yadav passed it on to his second son. I think I have mentioned about it earlier. It's called second son syndrome.
Yes.
First son, I don't know why they are not very enthusiastic. Anyhow, and Mulayam, but in all those cases, they were the founders of the party. And then they passed it on. So you can be like, once I remember Iyer was telling that this son-in-law of our Pinarayi Vijayan in Kerala, he is also coming into picture. He has been nominated. But no, the communist and BJP are the two parties which don't pass it on to their children. This is very, very important. They occupy some position, possibly, not necessarily always, but sometimes they occupy some positions. Even in BJP, there are children who occupy some positions, and sometimes nothing. For instance, Arun Jaitley's children do not occupy much position, while Sushma Swaraj's daughter is legal person, so she is having some role in the legal cell. But it's not that just because you are son or daughter, and there is nothing called capturing the party. These are some parties, that is BJP, CPI, CPM. These are not family-controlled parties. Even AAP, I would say. And many people will also say TMC, but now of late TMC, our nephew is playing a very large role, and it is being told that our nephew may take over after her. Same thing like your Mayavati. Mayavati also doesn't have children. She is single, but she has her own people. Anyhow, so the dynasty should be very clearly understood that it is a question of controlling a political party and passing it on to your children. This is something very important. Not just occupying some, somebody could put their children in some private company as some executives or something. That is the word to be used is nepotism. It's not dynasty or anything. It's not that I am justifying it, but it could happen. Or at the same time, one should be very cautious. Every political leader children, we cannot immediately say they cannot occupy any. Some political leader children can be a good tennis player or can be a good executive or something. So automatically we should say because he is the son of a or daughter of a political leader. But handing over the party is something different. Why do they do that? Okay, Iyer, you wanted to mention something. You have to unmute yourself.
So sorry, sir. What we should do, in my suggestion, sir, is at the end of this talk, before we go into question space, we will hold a rapid fire round. I will give you the party name. You say yes or no. The answer is whether this, according to your definition, is a dynastic party or not. Sure. For example, DMK is a dynastic party. Yes. One question answered. We will go through other parties, sir. I just wanted to give you a heads up that this is not out of syllabus, sir. This is very much in syllabus.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, I have devoted 2 chapters in my recent book, Caste as Social Capital, about this entire dynasties. What I call F20.
Sir, wonderful.
20 dynasties I have listed down. The Jammu and Kashmir starting on that one end to the Tamil Nadu on the other end. All
what
the dynasties.
Unity, sir. Kashmir to Kanyakumari, there is dynastic party. Attack to Cuttack, there is dynastic party.
Now, why they are there? It's many people say because of the love for children and other thing is there. But why love for second child? That will be there. Anyhow, see, the important point is most of these political parties are corrupt. There is no, even other parties, those who are not dynastic also corrupt. But these corrupt parties, they accumulate huge amount of wealth when they are in power, in some position or other. And it's not a top secret I am revealing that when they are in power, they make a lot of money. All these parties, including, of course, BJP, Communist, but in the case of these 2 parties, it is given to the party. It's not individual accumulation. Even if it is individual accumulation, it doesn't help in controlling the party. Okay. Now, when they accumulate so much money in contract, commission, and the amount of money is, there is corruption. And kindly note, corruption gives rise to black money, but all black money is not necessarily due to corruption. For instance, you buy petrol in a petrol pump in India, you don't collect the receipt. And the petrol pump owner may or may not include it in his income tax returns. So you have generated black money unwittingly without any cause or reason. You go to your doctor and then have a consultation. He says that 700 rupees is the consultation fee. You give him 700 cash. He puts it in his pocket. He may or may not show it in his IT return. So you have generated black money. But this is not due to corruption. This is due to some, what one can call distortion or. So kindly note, all corruption leads to black money, but all black money is not due to corruption. And corruption don't only identify with government. All sectors. For instance, recently there was a big scandal about this some of the IT companies recruitment scam, how they were collecting money and then they were recruiting another thing. It went on. Even TCS has to remove some of its senior executives who were allegedly involved in this scam. And this is folklore in Bangalore is many people will know 2 months salary you have to give it to the HR person, or 1 month salary, or sometimes 6 months salary when the recruitment take place. So that is also corruption. It's a corruption which also is black money. But so it's not exclusive to public sector. This is very, very important. I recall in the 90s, I was giving a talk to group companies in the cost control, cost reduction and all the things, and it went very well. And during lunchtime, the chief finance officer was sitting with me. He told, all what you told is very good, sir. But in our company, it is very difficult. I was surprised actually. Why? He told that we have large number of the small manufacturers who are our vendor, who are our suppliers. And so I told, yeah, obviously you will be adopting some norms to choose them, another thing. He laughed at that. Professor, you should know more real life. He told most of these small vendors are all floated by our own chairman or his relatives and friends and other thing. So whatever code they provide, we have to, and except it's extremely critical item. All other codes, for instance, we can always claim in terms of quality, in terms of timeliness, so many factors we can always ascribe to it and then choose it. For instance, the car you came today, I was taken by a car by an agency. He told that agency is run by the niece of the chairman. So we could have got any other agency. It doesn't. Similarly, whitewashing of this entire thing. Flower arrangement is per day. It can be as high as 15 to 20,000 rupees. All over the offices, every general manager, assistant manager, senior. Of course, the type of flower will vary. If you are a general manager, it will be a big bouquet in your room and other thing. If you are a graduate trainee or something, one stem will be brought to you or something. Anyhow, so but that is also by the relatives. So these are all, if you ask me, these are all corruption. But private sector and nepotism is more correct word. Anyhow, this is not dynasty. Most important, dynasty is also can be defined in another way. If you remove the word Karunanidhi from Stalin name, what is his standing? If you remove Karunanidhi from Kanimudi name, what is her standing? Nothing. So if you remove Lalu's name from that of 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥, what is the standing? Nothing. So actually the primary qualification is you have been the DNA related to the head of the family, to whom who pass it on to you. Now the most important is our mathematical equation. Corruption give rise to dynasty. It's not the other way. What happens is, when you have huge amount of money accumulated, nowadays people talk about crores. Kindly remember that.
One question, sir. One question, sir. You put up a very important point. Is there any instance of dynasty not giving rise to corruption?
Dynasty is the outcome of corruption. You are not following what I am telling. You see, X implies Y. That doesn't mean Y implies X.
Okay, so it is not, okay, understood. Okay, got it. Continue, sir.
Yeah. Corruption implies dynasty. It has to, corruption has to, what one can lead to dynasty. I am coming to that. See, nowadays people talk about crores. When I was in college, I remember this so-called Mundra scandal. T.T. Keshamachari was the finance minister. Mundra was given some 70,000 rupees, most important, as a loan by LIC, and that was supposed to have been influenced by TTK. This is the accusation in those days, and he has to resign for a 70. Today, if you ask any political leader has got bribe of 70,000, the TV anchor will say, "Sir, don't bore us with all this, minor type of a issue. It can't be a breaking news. Maximum, it can be a broken news at the footnote of our channel or something." 70,000 is, and even a assistant engineer or somebody in a government service, if he is raided and they find some 50,000 rupee in his home, there is a strike by all other engineers. They say this is belittling us. What is this 50,000 only collected? It is not up to our mark, and anything less than a crore or anything in the raid, if they collect it, it's not. Sorry, sir, it's very, very damaging to our reputation, because tomorrow if you want to ask bribe, they will give only in thousands. So this is what is the situation today. So everybody talks in terms of crores. So assuming that you are a political leader in power, and in some parties like many of these family parties, most important chota dynasties are created. It is like samasthanams, small kings. The bigger king is there, and then every district, that is one way they want to keep the their sidekicks very happy. So all these people accumulate wealth in some way or other. But the main man is the major. Now the question is, how do you safeguard that wealth? And most of it is in the form of black money. How do you, you may lose power, you may not be chief minister again, you may not be. So how do you, if you are not in power, it's quite possible the party which comes to power may try to harm you or harm your family and other thing. But one important method by which you can overcome this is to put your children into your shoes. What is the advantage? Any action taken against them can be called as political vendetta. It's not going to work. And the current ruling party, his son is also in there. So he knows that tomorrow they may be in trouble. So this is the crux of the issue is, this wealth you cannot leave it to any other party general members, general secretary or, assistant or no. They are all good. They are all important. But you cannot leave this much amount of wealth to them. You have to leave it only to your children. For instance, huge amount of money accumulated in the case of, this 𝙒𝙗𝙬𝙤 Reddy. That used to be the rumor in those days. He died in an air crash suddenly. He didn't pass on the, the total message to all his children or whatever money he has kept abroad, neither to his wife nor to his keep. God knows how many type of people were involved with him, but he seems to have not told anyone. So his son has lost huge amount of funds actually in the process, and many people who would have got hold of it will be enjoying it. So this is the crux of the issue is, you don't want to hand it over to unknown people. For instance, if huge amount of wealth, not necessarily in the form of only cash, but other forms like Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, so much amount of land, so much amount of buildings and other things. Whom do you want? You don't want to leave it to Mallikarjun Kharge or his children. Definitely. No way. They may be in position. They may be in... but you would like to leave it to your children, who in turn would like to leave it to their children. This is the... So the fundamental problem is the amount of money you accumulated during power, and whom do you give it, and how do you give it. And you can, if you are not in power and if your children are in regular job, you hand it over to them, it's not going to work, because the new fellows can come and they can try to harass you and other. So unless you are in political power or your children are in political power, they will not be able to face the music against the black money. This is very important. If you want to control your black money, very large sum, you must be proximate to power, or you must be in power, or you must be waiting for power. There used to be a story during the MGR time. It used to be told that whenever some contract, some money is collected, he will be given 30 or 40%, and the ruling group will take 60%. So there will be more or less understanding. So that is a separate... Interestingly, he didn't have any progeny. He couldn't have passed it on his party. He had adopted children, and it came to the other lady. Everybody knows the story. So that is another type of a very interesting type of a not passed on to only dynasty. Somebody asked him, it appears, so what will happen after you? He told, after me the deluge. That type of a thing only. So it's very important. So if there is no accumulated money, there may not be so much enthusiasm for putting your children. Your children could be doctor like A. Raja. Not that he is not corrupt, but he has put his daughter into London. He is very proud of it, that she is doing medical in London. And it's quite possible. So large chunk of money is the one which makes you think in terms of creating the dynasty. How to hand it over? And you can hand it over money, provided you also hand it over the possibility of power. And without that money may not really be safe vis-a-vis the other opposition leaders and other things. So this is a dilemma of most of these leaders who accumulate huge amount of wealth. Of course, in theory, we always say you don't carry anything with you other than your, what one can call the piece of dhoti which is put on you. Nothing else is taken with you. Everybody agrees, but everybody thinks they are permanent. This is the famous Yaksha story. Dharmaputra was asked by the Yaksha, what is that which surprises you in this world? He says, every day people see Hari Om, and bodies are taken to the gut. But everybody thinks that it's all right. But he comes back to the office and he calls his assistant, he bullies him, he bullies his wife or whatever it is. So everybody thinks they are permanent. So same way, political leaders accumulate a lot of money in some form or other. And what do they do? Where do they live? This is the fundamental question. Now, so the Gordian knot is issue of corruption, collecting cash by the political party. This has to be, cut. One solution given by Pranab Mukherjee when he was finance minister, he brought out a report actually. Unfortunately, not many talk about it. Opposition feels that it is by him, a ruling party fellow. Ruling party feels better not to talk about Pranab Mukherjee's solutions and other things. It's a very interesting thing. It's something similar to ruling party not wanting to talk about Narasimha Rao that time. And opposition nowadays talks more about Narasimha Rao than Congress. Anyhow, the Pranab Mukherjee brought out, he says one of the possibilities is holding of cash should be made a crime. Say at any point of time, no person requires to hold more than 5 lakh rupees of cash. In order to, assuming holding of cash itself should be made a crime. Some exception can always be there. Some construction company may want to hold 10 lakh cash in order to disperse it among its laborers. But even that has become very, not common. Now, you see this Patam, it has created a revolution in India. The other day I went to buy this spinach, or what we call soppu or kirai in Tamil. And that man has got one Patam. I bought it for 20 rupees. He says paid by that, sir. All around my area, I have found almost all the retail and small fellows have got this Patam. One fellow who comes with that, what do you call this? Boom boom madu, we call it. He brings a bull with all the ornament and other thing, and then he has put in the neck of the bull one Patam card. You don't have to give cash to me, you just click. What I am telling is this digital revolution has altered the landscape of our country. So the solution by our friend, what one can call Pranab Mukherjee, is not impossible. Anything, and it used to be the system in the post-Second World War, incidentally in Europe. You can't hold, even in US today, about $10,000 you are expected to not to hold. And small amount of cash and other thing is held largely by the drug peddlers and other thing. Not by because most of the people are used to using this credit card and all those things. So this is one method by which, because people in normal argument, they argue, black money is in the form of cash or land, or I think they have to undergo, accounting 101 course. If I have a land, I sell it to somebody, he gives me 10 lakh, let's say, for buying the land, and of that 5 lakh he gives in cash and 5 lakh in check. Kindly note, the black money in the form of land has not got dissipated. It's still alive. Except from his hand, it has come to my hand. Now I have to take steps to overcome this. So, balance sheet wise, if you look at it, on one side land mean, other side cash. Ultimately, you have to hold it in the form of cash only. So, that is a fundamental thing. Will the government take courage to announce such a step is another issue. That holding cash per se, I mean, today, for instance, if I have 1 crore in my home, they do the IT raid and ED raid and other thing. They have to prove that I have this 1 crore disproportionate to my known sources of income. In other words, I can always say I had some land, I sold it, and this and that. Now, that clause should be cut off and told holding itself is a crime. You can't hold Lakshmi more than 5 lakh. It's, So, yeah, you have a
Sir,
point.
quick question, sir. Quick question, sir. See, now India has made 2,000 rupees illegal. So the maximum denomination is 500. By doing this, to make the highest denomination as small as possible, is this also another way to combat black money?
No, it is no doubt about it. It is in the sense, but even in 500 you can hold. You see, whenever there is a raid, they show the picture and other thing. So many 500 and 200 are held. It's not of course, smaller and smaller denomination become difficult to carry, because for dispersal during election time, for instance, if you have to carry 100 rupee note, you have to carry so many in order to give it to the people at large. But if you have to carry 2000 rupee note, it is relatively simpler. That's the main thing. It's not. I would rather say it is a good palliative. It's a good type of but it's primarily a sort of a balm for your headache. It doesn't solve the full issue. Full issue can be solved provided you tell people you can't hold cash. Simple. And there are a lot of studies which have come out. Incidentally, RBI itself commissioned one study by the MIT. And RBI in those days used to commission studies by others, not by IIM or IITs or anything, and to find out. And they found out that before every MLA election, huge amount of cash is withdrawn from the bank. Cash in circulation becomes peaks before the poll. So there is no doubt that cash is used for bribing voters and other things. So holding of cash should be made a crime beyond a point. This is the simple thing. It was done in Europe, and after that it was given up, and now there is no need, even in US or Europe, because as I told you, other than these drug peddlers and other thing, there is no incentive to hold huge amount. Even if you keep in bank, you get some 0.5% or 1% or something, and there is no significant amount of cash transaction requirement in. Even though there are many segments, for instance, I was told that a lot of lunch preparation by many of the housewives who also sell it for the bachelors in US in certain places, IT group and other thing, and many of these what you call the home kitchen, the Gujaratis, Marwaris, so many. I don't want to make community issue this. But all of that is paid in cash. All of that is paid in cash. For instance, somebody was telling me, do you know, most of our Pandit collect in cash only. So anyhow, that's not those are some small segments here and there which are. But overall, it's not. And in India also, it is not required. There used to be one what one can call a video. P. Chidambaram telling how all this digital will work. There is no power in rural areas. There is no this and that and other thing. Poor fellow, he doesn't know what is I hit him now. And so that video shows how much. It's a huge transformation has come in India, where a lot of people I know, including myself, we have not used cash at all for a long period of time. You carry the card and then a very simple type of transaction. Actually, it's not even like credit card or anything where you have to worry and whether balance it. These are what are called GPay or Bharat Pay and other thing. They're straight away. And 80% of Indians have telephone today. Of that, 60% estimatedly is having so-called what smartphones. And for these things, you don't require smartphone actually. You can have regular phones also. So it is possible. Now, once this is introduced, carrying cash itself is a crime. The level of corruption can never be eliminated. Let's not think about it. And in highly developed countries also, corruption is not eliminated. If tax rate is high, they say corrupt. Not necessarily true. In Sweden, Norway and other, tax rate is very high actually because of their social security schemes and other things. But that doesn't automatically mean black money is huge generated there. No. Indian tax rate has come down from 95% at the margin to today 33%. But that has not reduced the level of black money. So these are what one can just explanation given. So we cannot eliminate it. Let us be very, very clear about it. We can reduce it. In the process of reduction, what will happen? The political leaders will not be able to accumulate huge amount, which means they cannot have the worry of passing out to the children. The second thing which should be done is by law. Today, if you are to have a punishment in jail more than 2 years, you cannot contest an election, etc. And it goes up to 7 years. More important thing is you cannot also hold any position in any political party. This is very important. For instance, Lalu may not be able to contest election, but he is the one in control of the party. He can, very interesting, he cannot contest election, but he can decide who will contest election. So this is something very, very funny. Of course, some people will argue even if he is not in actual power, from outside he may be able to influence. That's quite possible. But that will reduce this, when he is not actually holding the position in a party, his ability to influence will slowly come down. This, I think, the current Gandhi family understands it. So that's why they will not like to completely give it up to Karge and other thing. So the more, so the second rule should be, if you are punished by court for any criminal or otherwise activities, if you are a convicted person like Lalu Yadav, you can neither be contesting election, that's out of question, nor you can hold any position in any political party. Actually, those people should be shunned and treated as, untouchable. But surprisingly, many TV fellows go and interview him. He is a convicted, let me repeat it, he is a convicted criminal. He is not alleged or anything, like your Shashi Tharoor or like other type of leaders who are all going to court, Raja or Kanimudi, they are all alleged. P. Chidambaram even, including, he is also not yet convicted totally in any case. But convicted fellows should be debarred from holding any position in any political party. So these two are important thing if you want to deal with dynastic politics. One is reducing corruption and black money by the process of restricting holding of cash. I think 5 lakh is more than adequate at any point of time for one to hold. Even today, even for so many type of expenses in marriages, and it is paid by GPay and other thing. To bringing the plantain or tying the thing and all the activities are enough people. Catering fellow, you pay by, he gave me IFSC number, NIFT. you shift it in that number, sir. So it is also reducing people who are not paying tax. That is something very interesting. That's a separate issue. That is also crucial. So make a law implemented that those who you cannot have more than 5 lakh at a point of time, and that's a crime for which you have to amend Coinage Act, Income Tax Act, the CRPC, all these things. But that's not you can't say that amending them is not possible or anything. So that is the thing. Second is, again, correct the law telling that if you are a convicted criminal, not only that you cannot stand for poll and occupy position, you cannot also have any position in any political party. EC will not permit it. So that is also to be. So some of these steps should be taken. Last but not least is which I have been telling for a long time, the reform of judiciary in order to expedite many of these things. For instance, everybody knows the joke regarding this 2G. It goes on, and I don't know how many years it has gone on. Now they are telling August 28th onward they will take it on a daily basis, and maybe next life Kanimari can have a judgment or something. The way things are going, if you believe in, I don't think she believes in rebirth, so that question also doesn't come. She is a follower of EVR. So judiciary should be more prompt in dealing with these cases, economic crimes, and it should be what is called always swift and severe punishment. There is no point in telling you pay 3 lakh fine to Anil Ambani. His company will pay it, not even him. So that is not going to be major type of an advantage. So swift and severe. Severe means really put people inside. And don't have this type of 10-year, 3-year, another. Most severe punishment, and that will set an example. That's all. You give such a severe punishment to 2-3 people, others will get worried that this is not going to be. This is the just it's an illustration or an example. It's like a teacher in the class, when he gives severe punishment to a couple of students, everybody else will be concerned about it, and everybody else is, this man means business. So let's not play out with it. So that is the type of thing. So judiciary should be more active, and of course there are perceptions that judiciary itself is corrupt. So that is another. Maybe for another day we will have another discussion on that separate issue. And thank you very much, Ayer, for your hospitality and cordiality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Namaskar. So we'll have a rapid fire question round, yes or no. The question is, are the parties that I'm going to name dynastic parties or not? Yes or no? So you said yes to DMK. Next is JDS. Remember that Ramakrishna Hegde was just as important a poll as H.D. Deva Gowda at some point of time. Yes or no?
He was not part of JDS. It was called JD. Deva Gowda formed JDS.
Okay. Nuances. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Deva Gowda formed JDS to distinguish himself from the JD. Then it became JDU. JDU did not have much of following in Karnataka. Anyhow. Okay.
Yes or no, sir?
Next. What is yes?
Sir, is it yes or no?
Obviously, JDS is formed by Deva Gowda. He has passed it on to his second son.
So it's a dynasty. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
TMC.
Huh? TMC.
TMC. Yeah.
That's what I told you. It was perceived originally she is single, but she seems to be now giving it to his nephew. Significant amount of dynasty doesn't mean only son. It can be daughter. It can be nephew. It can be niece. Sharad Pawar giving it to Supriya doesn't automatically mean no dynasty. It's also right. Handing over the party to the other person. Okay. TMC is
even
emerging as a dynasty.
So let's do a simple thing, sir. Let us do this. Dot coalitions are 26 parties. Tell me, in your opinion, which one is not a dynastic party? CPM, you've already said, accepted.
CPI.
What else, sir?
CPI,
CPI.
CPM, and AAP are the three there, which cannot be easily classified as a dynasty as of now. AAP, one doesn't know about his children and another thing. But as of today, it is not a dynasty party. Other than that,
so
26.
Yeah.
All others are. Huh?
Yeah, let's take some questions.
There are one or two parties, I don't know whether they are having children at all, but they are one-member party.
Yeah, too small to dynastize.
Correct.
Small to dynastize.
Correct. Right?
Because even Vaiko, even he is trying to push his son. Even Dravida, what is his name?
He has already put, the Vaiko revolted against DMK, against the dynasty of Stalin. Very interesting, actually. Yeah. And formed his own party. And now he has passed it on to his son. He has put his son. He says it is the, cadres are all pressurizing me to put him.
It's always the cadre. Poor people.
Always. Either it is public or cadre. What are the two?
Let's take some questions now, please. Jairam Gopalan Iyer wants to know, great session from Guruji Shri Professor R. Vaidyanathan. Even IIM boards can be changed today by MODIJI. Do you think that is a good move in India's interest?
Oh, it was always the case. I don't think it's a new case or anything. Always President was in a position to, except it was exercised subtly through the, what you may loosely call the HRD ministry. So there is Krishnamurthy used to be the chairman of IIM Bangalore. He was changed due to certain specific reasons, and Abid Hussain became. And so there is nothing new in this, except it's being made a news. Cash component info, no.
Next question, please. Jyotishmati wants to know, what is your opinion regarding section 194N? Do you think that should be amended again?
What does this section tell?
Jyotishmati, could you please expand a little bit about what that section means? We'll come back to you once you have had a chance to expand it.
Kamal said Bharat is a HINDU Rashtra. Is it one of his political? Oh God, these things before poll, never take a politician seriously. Okay, except the remedy he gives. For that, people go and vote for him, and after poll they regret. Yeah, all sort of things these people will say. Never.
Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskara, is sentimental thinking one of the reasons for dynastic rule? What is media role in propagating this?
Media is, for instance, in Tamil Nadu, if you take media like Sun Network and other thing, is part of the larger, DMK family only. So this is nothing. And sentimental thinking is also there, but they play lesser role compared to the role of black money. How to hand it over to the next gen. Nobody wants to hand over the... See, Karunanidhi would never have imagined of settling all his amount with Anbadagan or anybody else. Or same thing with Malayam, same thing with, what you call Lalu. Or everybody wants to keep it, the money part of it. Everything else is fine. Ideology and other things are all quite okay. So as long as you have the key to the Gajana, like in Gandhi family, they always... Where is the power? That power comes from the core because they have the key to the Toshikana or Gajana or whatever you call it, right? Okay.
Next question, please.
No, this is okay. Cash withdrawal is not important. According to me, your holding of cash itself should be prima facie a crime. Beyond a level. That is what I am talking. Yeah.
Next question, please.
Tax and other thing is fine. Why corruption is higher in South than in North? I think it's an unfounded allegation. So, see, one thing important is corruption unites India. Unity in diversity. This is very, very critical. What is the thing which unites India? Corruption and poverty. But poverty is getting reduced. corruption is getting increased. That is the only difference you can say. Why I am telling is, I am surprised. Actually, I go across the country, travel, and I cross from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu. The amount of bribery, sometimes excess is given, mean on slip is given. And when next thing, Orissa, suppose they reach, then that slip is recognized. That slip is honored actually. We have already paid so much. And then up to Kohima, it is honored. It's something, I think, unless you know the soil of India, you will not understand. All over, we are some areas more, but whenever there is a question of some areas more, some areas less, the lesser areas catch up with the more areas. They will immediately.
So what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is just like GST is now collected at source and then distributed to all the states downstream, bribe is also collected at source and distributed across downstream. Therefore, you have a very smooth passage. Did I understand it correctly?
Same pattern.
𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙀𝘀 Srivastava wants to know why Lalu Yadav is enjoying bail as he is fit. So Supreme Court closed eyes?
No. It's all right. This question is why Chidambaram is enjoying 26 type of. He has got 26 bails. That's what the report suggests. Maybe 25 or 26, right? So this SC closing eyes is a very tough question to answer. Has it ever opened its eyes for anything? Anyhow, okay.
Kodaganur Achar wants to know why are bachelors preferred in BJP to eliminate nepotism?
No. See, many of these bachelor karyakartas have come from the RSS, and RSS have a policy in terms of having the brahmacharis as part of its karyakarta stream. So many of them are from the RSS stream. So they may not necessarily be in the ministerial or other position. They may be in advisory. They may be in core party things. And many a time RSS also, what you call the secondment is there to BJP. They send people like your, many of the leaders' names one can mention.
BL Santosh right now. Yeah. BL Santosh now.
Just 1 second.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Just a request for people, please. If you haven't subscribed to our channel and if you haven't clicked the bell button for notifications, kindly do so. In some phones, when you say notifications, it'll ask what kind of notifications do you want to click on. It's a subjectivity, like you one or all. I would recommend you do all notifications because that way then you will get prompted about our new videos. Clearly, you come to our channel for the value we provide. We are unbiased. And we are completely supported by your subscriptions and your revenue. So thank you very much. Whenever you give us donations, we very gleefully accept them. Thank you so much. And Professor RV, next question, sir. Ananda Gopal
bachelor thing, but of course there is one issue in this. Even people after 10 years of being in the RSS or 20 years, I know, when they come to politics, they get spoiled. This is something research should be undertaken. So much amount of discipline is inculcated over a long period of time, but when you step into politics with that half-knicker thing is completely gone. Some people, not all people, I am always puzzled. I did have a talk with some of the top RSS people. They told, Professor, your point is valid. It requires a very detailed, what is that in politics which completely make you different. This is some serious research topic, like the second son syndrome I told, the same way. Okay. Next. Looted money, but how even every constituency also, I told you this is something called bigger king and chota kings. In the olden time, there used to be Chakravarti. And these Chakravartis used to have these samasthanams, and many of them used to give some taxes to the main king. These small kingdoms are subordinate to them, actually. And so this way, every district, for instance, in Tamil Nadu has got their own small kings who can collect. But the share has to be given properly. This is very important. Similarly, the Delhi family controlled thing from the Indira Gandhi time, every state level leader has to is treated as a samasthanam. He has to collect, and there used to be reports many a time. Some people were not accounting properly. They used to collect more and keep more and not send it. And they were changed by the center. They were made a persona non grata in no time. So this is another important thing. You should pay your what one can call dues properly. Otherwise, you are not considered. That's the same thing. Yeah.
Next question, please. Jai Hind wants to know, capital gains tax should be exempted for up to 5 crores. One main reason why honest salary tax-paying middle-class individuals undervalue land prices when selling or buying.
Agreed. Actually, I have been suggesting that above 60 years, don't tax anybody unless their income is above 5 crore or something. It's a harassment. Of course, I am also a beneficiary in that. If it comes, see, many people, pensioners and others, they earn some, 30,000-40,000 per month and other thing, and it is deducted at source. Why have all this harassment? And these elderly people, if you exempt, they all go to polling booth. Youth go to pub? They don't go to polling booth. So this is the difference. Your target should be the elderly people. So that can easily be exempted, and the capital gain tax, I am for this. Okay.
Next question, please. Vasubhai Fanswala wants to know, I always wonder where and how the huge black money is handled by these politicians and others. Definitely not through legal channels. The question is always intriguing.
No. This is, you see, the black money is not kept in a, Godrej Almera at home. That is only in the Hindi films or Tamil film. They open Almera and full of black money is shown. It is rotating, and farther away from white, faster it rotates. This is very important. Fundamental principle in black money finance is away from white, it will rotate. It is used for financing credit for small and other type of unorganized activities. There used to be one Sanchayita in Calcutta that was banned by Ashok Mitra. My professor was also a finance minister and a Marxist. He banned it. They used to give 42% when the official going rate in those days was 12%. When it was investigated, they were financing all these talawalas, all these, those who make all this bhaji, bhujia, and your roadside vegetable vendors and small traders. All of these people were financed by them. This is very important. Black money, substantial portion of it is given as credit in the unorganized market. Institutional credit with all the tom-tomming and other thing is only 15% of our aggregate credit requirement. Institutional credit, I mean banks, NBFCs and all put together. Much of the other credit comes from these sources. So this is another interesting thing you should keep in mind. Black money is never kept, in a room or something. It may be kept till it is dispersed. Right? Okay.
Top 3 corrupt leaders of India.
Very difficult. Very, very difficult. This question is extremely difficult because there are at least 30 people competing for this. I would not like to, favor
the
one.
Nominees are.
Okay.
Anantraj wants to know, will the black money really come back? It's never gone anywhere, isn't it?
Oh, that's no, he is talking about black money abroad, Indian black money abroad. That we will discuss it in another context. Illicit money abroad in tax havens, right?
Yeah. George Cherian wants to know,
banning the party won't help. In the sense, okay, it could be a step, but more important is people should shun those activities. This is what I am telling. He is being interviewed by all the channel as if he is the the great avatar of Mahatma Gandhi or anything. So this is the thing. There should be a social boycott of people who are doing such things. That itself will be a good healing thing, actually. Yeah.
And last question, no more questions, please. Jyotindra Kulkarni wants to know, hello from California. Sir, I see that in Tamil Nadu there is communist government. So is it causing problems for Hindu temples and its collections? Mindset.
Tamil Nadu, there is no communist government. I don't know. Right? Anyhow, there is Tamil Nadu, there is a sort of pseudo-Nastic government, you can call, atheist. They are not real atheists actually. They send all their relatives and friends to go and pray on their behalf, right? So it's not causing any problem for Hindu temple and its collection. As of now, I don't think so.
For any important event, they will always see Rahukal. They will also see Yamagandam. Both are important.
Very correct. So that is all, right? Thank you all, my friends. Anything more?
That's it, sir. Thank you so much. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications.
Most important.
Prof does go through he goes through the comments. So do put in your comments. Make it on the topic. Don't go drifting somewhere else. And Professor RV always likes to hear from you. Thank you once again, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar.